become classified, but at the time she
That's
did it, which
all
was a long
horseshit.
time ago, they weren't.
That's all horseshit.
No, they weren't top secret. She wasn't supposed to put any of them on there. There's no
Right.
doubt she was wrong.
Right.
But that's not even an issue with this. That's
It's
not
an issue It is an issue. When you want to become president,
It's not a discussion about whether she did it or not. She did it. She said she did it. What does Bill Clinton talking to the Attorney General have to do with whether she did it or not? That has nothing to do with anything. Now, should he have done that? I'm not saying he should have got on that plane, because what is that, his best friend? He had to go talk to her right that second when they were sitting on a runway somewhere, waiting for their planes to take off in 20 minutes? That was his own stupidity, Bill Clinton, that he even attempted to do that, and I don't know what his motivation was, whether he just really wanted to talk to her about something else, but he could have picked up the phone and done that if he wanted to do that. He didn't have to actually walk across the tarmac where everyone saw him do it and do that, because the optics of it aren't that good. But what could he have possibly accomplished in that 20 minutes on that plane? Did he get a blowjob? You know he likes strange pussy. She is about 70, that lady. So is Hillary. God, it's nice out right now. This is a very comfortable weather. I think Donald Trump would, if he got elected, I think he would be just horrible in the perception of the U.S. around the world, number one.
And I'd say the total opposite. I'd say he'll learn more in 1 year than Hillary knows in 30.
Why is that? Why would he?
Because he's a sharp rounder.
What makes you think
he has business sense? She has no sense.
Rich, he's a fucking failed businessman. He's O for life.
Failed businessman. He's not
O for life.
He's not.
You know what he's made money on his entire life? Licensing
David, he knows how to.
name.
He knows
That's
how to,
all he's done.
He knows how to talk with business people,
he
sharp
doesn't know how
people,
to do
street
shit. He's
smart
been sued
people.
3,500 times.
And he's won them all, almost every one.
He's won them all. Are you kidding? He's
Won
hitting
most
like
of them.
he hasn't won any of them. He
Yes,
never
he
wins.
has.
He's always wrong.
No. David, I admit when I'm wrong about something, not you're wrong.
He is a joke, this guy. First of all, he says he has 10 billion. You know how he says he has 10 billion? He says the Trump brand
Is worth 10 billion?
No, he's worth 6 billion. They have
But that's not fair. Then he's not worth 10 million.
It's valued by Forbes magazine at 300 million. And what else does he have? About another 200 million. So he has about 500 million. Okay. He started with 40 million in 1970 that his father gave him. Now, if you would have just put that money in the S&P indexes, you know how much money you'd have? 7 billion. So that's how successful he is. He ran 7 billion into 300 million. He's a genius.
7 billion and 300 million?
Yeah, because he has 300 million. And if he just invested in the S&Ps and just paid the taxes on it, he would have 7 billion. So he has run his 30 million, which should be 7 billion. That's the average if you just invested into 300 million. That's the kind of genius he is. He's had fucking 3 ridiculous wives that have all taken him to the cleaners. None of them are Americans, by the way. The Mr. Homophobe who wants to restrict all the fucking foreigners has 3
doesn't
fucking...
want to restrict all the foreigners.
Just any...
Say it right.
No, just any Islamic people and Mexicans.
He doesn't want anyone here who isn't... They can't vet 100% for sure who they are. And by the way, you should want the same thing.
Rich.
You should want the same thing.
Are you vetted 100% who you are?
That's not already here, I said. And an American.
What's the difference?
Plenty of difference.
Okay, well, you know the guy...
And you should want the same thing.
The guy in Orlando that shot up that gay nightclub? You know where
he was an American.
Oh.
Yes. But you don't need to gamble and take strangers in that we don't know who they are. That's what he's saying.
What's the difference?
Until we figure out who they are. He said until we figure out who they are.
Well, there is a process
and you should want the same thing by being here.
And what about all the Mexicans that are here, like picking cotton and working, peeling grapes and being housekeepers in LA and being nannies and all those things? Should we just throw them all out?
No, you don't throw anybody out.
Well, he says you have to take 11 million people and deport them.
But he can't do that. We know that.
But that's what he says. Because he can't do anything he says. He just says things. Because he likes to be outlandish and outrageous. And then the Klan eats it up. Because his followers are like the fucking Klan. He said he didn't even know who David Duke was. The guy.
Yeah, but that he's out of line there because
he's out of line on every word that comes out of his mouth.
He's out, not every word. I said a third.
Every word. If his lips are moving, he's saying something stupid. That's all you have to know. Complete idiot. He's not a successful businessman. He's a guy. He is like just an accident waiting to happen. He has money because he started with money. He was in real estate. It has went up thousands of percent. His bankroll has not went up thousands of percent. And he's also made about $200 million off the show The Apprentice. So, and he has $300 million of his money from the brand of the Trump. Aside from that, he's got nothing. He's been sued. He's the only guy that went out of business multiple times in the casino business in Atlantic City.
Yeah, well, everybody went out of business there.
No, he went out of business.
Everybody. I walked up and down the thing.
Everyone didn't go out of business.
Yeah,
Did the Golden Nugget go out of business?
There's 8 or 9 or 10 giant places out of business.
But he went out of business when everyone else was doing good. Now that Atlantic City is a dead issue, he went out of business before they had riverboats and before they had casinos in Louisiana and Chicago and Florida and everything. He went out of business when Atlantic City was booming.
That's no good.
He's a terrible operator. He's a terrible businessman, and he's an idiot.
That's a possibility. I don't know that. See, I liked Obama because I liked how he talked. Right?
Obama is a great talker, and he has a great presence.
But he's not anymore. He's not a great talker and a great presence. See, because when ISIS shot up the place, he sat like this and talked like this. Well,
first of all, what is the difference if he calls
he
him
sits
as
and he talks
How does
slow,
it help anyone here if he like people criticize him, Republicans criticize him for saying that it isn't like a
he's
Islamic
not the same
jihad.
Obama as he used
What's
to
the difference what he says as opposed to what he does? He's trying to whack those guys out with drones.
He's not trying to whack them out. That's
of course
the
he did. They just killed 300 and 500 of them the other
day. If he was trying to whack them out, he would have sent troops on the ground a long time ago.
Troops to where?
How do you fight? All over the Middle East, 100,000 troops.
100,000 troops to do what? To get the barber?
To wipe them out.
But you don't know who they are.
They'll figure it out.
They're not in an army. It's not like you're fighting the Iraqi army.
I know.
And they have tanks. These are guys that are kidnapping people. They fucking hijack planes and fly them into the World Center with box cutters. What are you going to just kill everyone? Kill everyone in the Middle East. Just in case, because he could be an ISIS guy. And kill all the Israelis too. Because they're pretty close to those ISIS guys. They're right next door.
Right, they are right next door.
Right. Kill them all. Kill the Syrians.
Here's what they should do.
Kill the Iraqis. Kill the Iranians.
They should get a giant chainsaw.
Just put some
50 miles long. Chainsaw. And start it.
Is that what we should do?
And cut a big circle around the entire Middle East, including fucking Israel, and I'm Jewish. And let it float all the way south where the plane went down, where they still haven't found in 2.5 years, past that to a part of the earth they've never seen before, and let them all fucking kill each other over there.
With some nuclear bombs and dropping one on Saudi Arabia, one on Iraq, one on Iran, one on Turkey, one on Syria and everything.
No, leave Israel alone.
Letting the smoke clear, and about 10 years later, just going in and taking all the oil. Because there'll be no one left, everyone will be dead. And then we'll say, by the way, this is us. Like Neil Armstrong with the flag on the moon. We'll just plant our flag and say, this is all ours. We've nationalized this property. This is Tel Aviv, Florida. I mean, this is unlike a war that has ever happened before.
Right. It's right.
So to say that you have to go kill those guys, you don't think they would just kill them if there was like 20,000 of them and they were all sitting in North Las Vegas? The place would be a fucking crater. But that's not the way they are.
No, they're all over, and you don't know where they are. It's not like they have.
They are.
You said it exactly right.
You know, 50 guys that are some of their named leaders that have spoken out and made videos and stuff like that.
Bagdadi.
But everyone else is like, he's a guy. He's a goat herder and he's a shopkeeper, and then they get him to convince him the suicide bomber and this and that. It's a crazy kind of thing.
It is.
You can't just kill everyone.
Did you see the Turkey airport films?
No, but I'm sure it wasn't a pretty sight.
This first bomber, you can't get in the regular part of the terminal without them checking you there. Not like here where you go in and go through in and then through security. There you can't even get in the building. So the first one went to be checked, went to get in, to sneak in, and one of the security guys didn't like it, and the bomber pulled out a gun and shot him. And blew himself up at the same time, right then and there. That was a big explosion that got the other two in.
When you get crazy people, and
can't
you convince them that their life is worth nothing, and
that's exactly right.
To blow themselves up for the cause. It's really hard to stop them. It's like
you can't stop them.
In World War II, the Japanese had these, the Harikari guys that would just crash their planes
into the ship,
willing to go down and stuff like that.
Same thing.
There's never been an American that's ever done that on purpose.
Remember, this is an idea. It's not a group of people. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So it's not like this country. We're not fighting Lebanon.
No,
we're fighting
it's-
Saudi Arabia.
We're fighting a
And a lot
group
of those-
that became a gang, is what they are, a big gang.
It's like fighting the Bloods and the Crips,
Uh-huh.
except that you can't tell they're Bloods and Crips because they look like everyone else that's over
Yeah,
there.
that's exactly right. And young,
And
20-year-olds.
and they say there's only like
21.
15, 20,000 of them total of guys that have ever been even in ISIS.
That's what they say.
sympathizers.
They have so many more than that. It's not even funny.
No, people that not active people. There are people that are sympathizers in a lot of ways because there are always people that think they're being